I have interesting cognitive skills, and if you keep changing names on me, I'm not even gonna know what's going on anymore.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Hey, I'm Michelle Hammer, and you're watching Schizophrenia and the City. Today I want to talk about changing the name of schizophrenia, and of course, don't forget to subscribe. According to the New England Public Media, when someone is diagnosed with schizophrenia, a psychotic disorder marked by delusional thinking, they often experience fear and anxiety. Really? Wow. You mean when somebody gets diagnosed with a mental illness, they feel anxious about it? I'm shocked. Never would I have thought that. Let's get back to the article that I found, okay? A 74-year-old woman named Linda Larson in Cambridge, Massachusetts wants to change the name of schizophrenia. She feels when she tells people she has schizophrenia, she thinks that people think it's kind of a sociopath, but worse. There's no expectation except violence and disengagement. She is 74. Now it's different. Now it's more accepted about mental illness. But being 74, I can understand why things are a little rough. Okay, I'm gonna give that to her for that. While having lunch with her besties, she came up with a new name, and that is Altered Perception Syndrome. And guess why? Because schizophrenia is like having an altered perception, she said. With researchers, the Consumer Advisory Board put out a survey of 1,200 people with schizophrenia and their family members to find out if they wanted to change the name of schizophrenia. My problem with that is the USA has 2.6 million people with schizophrenia. So you asked 1,200 people, but there's 2.6 million people with it. I think you asked a very small amount of people. I'm just putting it out there, okay? The article, it talks about the stigma and the misuse of the term portrayed in the media and how people might like the name change. In fact, there are a few more names they come up with. Here they are: attunement disorder, integration disorder, and disconnectivity syndrome. Okay, sure, whatever you want. What I think, changing the name of schizophrenia, it will not make it less stigmatized. It's a word. People need to understand what schizophrenia is, and that is through education. Through people living with the disorder, telling our stories. We only ever hear on the news bad stories. You never hear the good stories. You never hear this person with schizophrenia went to work, had a great day, went home, went to sleep. You only hear oh, that person with schizophrenia attacked somebody. What makes the news? Like I've said it before, you're not going to hear great stories on the news because that's not what you hear on the news. You hear the bad stories, and that's what has to change. That's what really, really, really has to change. And if you make something a bad word, it becomes a bad word. Like on Instagram, hashtag schizophrenic gets flagged, while schizophrenia, hashtag schizophrenia, is not. But on TikTok, hashtag schizophrenia is flagged, while hashtag schizophrenic is not. So what's going on there? Even on social media, it's confusing about what words are even okay to say. And if you use these new terms of the new schizophrenia word, and someone's like, oh, well, I've never heard of that, what is it? And you might say, oh, well, it used to be called schizophrenia. So then what's the difference? Or you say, oh, I've never heard of that, what is it? Then don't you have to explain what all of your symptoms are then? And then basically you're explaining that you have schizophrenia, but it's a different word, so what's the point of changing the whole name in the first place? Because you're just saying that you have all the exact same symptoms of schizophrenia, but it's a different word, it's the same thing. It's like when bipolar was manic depression, did that change the stigma? I don't think manic means up, depression means down, and bipolar is just up and down. So I don't really understand the difference, except people just not knowing maybe what their diagnosis is anymore because it's gone through a million different names by now. I was manic depressant, now I turned bipolar, and who knows what I am next. You were maybe Asperger's, but now you're not Asperger's anymore. Now you're on the autism spectrum. Everything gets so confusing that you don't even know what you are anymore. It just confuses me more. I have interesting cognitive skills, and if you keep changing names on me, I'm not even gonna know what's going on anymore. Come on, help me out here, people. Help me out. Do we really want to stigmatize the word schizophrenia? For so long, I had to fight with my whole company being called Schizophrenic NYC about the word schizophrenic being a fine word. That schizophrenic is just identity first language. And everybody was just, I got so much flack sometimes for being called schizophrenic. I got so much flack. And now the word schizophrenia is a bad word. It's ridiculous. Finally, the word schizophrenic got accepted, and now the word schizophrenia is not accepted. Help me out here, people. What's good, what's bad? I think it's interesting that a person with schizophrenia is at least saying to change the name of schizophrenia, because 99% of people that tell me that schizophrenic is actually a bad word are people that don't actually even have schizophrenia at all. I do at least acknowledge that person with schizophrenia is saying it's a bad word and it's not other people, but if you're gonna survey people, you gotta survey more people than 1,200 people. At least get a majority. I am not down for the renaming. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it'll change anything with the stigma. I don't think it's gonna work, and embrace it. I'm wearing my shirt, I'm mentally ill and I don't kill. If you're dealing with people that think that you're dangerous when you talk to them or you tell them you have schizophrenia, stop talking to those people. If they're not okay with it, you cut them out of your life and you don't talk to them anymore. That's how it is. If they have a problem with it, it's their problem. That's their problem. Get rid of them. What about other mental illnesses? Why is schizophrenia always considered the worst one? Like, I know people with other diagnoses that are way more, symptoms than I do. I know people with no diagnosis at all that are way crazier than I've ever been in my life. Changing the name? No go. Live your life how you want to live it. Do your own thing. Think what you want to think. I don't agree with this article. If you do, leave a comment, but it's all good. I am so out of here, and I'm loving it, and you all rock. All right. Bye.